Hello everyone. Today we are going to read a chapter named The Bond of Love, written by Kenneth Anderson, an Indian-born British writer who wrote books about his adventures in the jungles of South India. He was born on 8th March 1910 in Bangalore and died in 30 August 1974 in Bangalore. Some of his famous works include the Tales from the Indian Jungle, The Call of the Man-Eater. So this story depicts a selfless bond between a human being and an animal. So let's read. So I will begin with Bruno, my wife's pet sloth bear. So the story starts with that the author's narrator, Kenneth Anderson himself, that about his wife's pet sloth bear. Sloth bear actually they usually lives in the forested areas including the tropical rainforest of in India and grasslands at lower elevations. So I got him for her by accident. So how the narrator got the sloth bear? So he got it by accident. How? So 2 years ago, while he was passing through the sugarcane, we were passing through the sugarcane near fields near Mysore. People were driving away the pigs from the fields by shooting them. Some were shot and some were escaped. We thought that everything was over when suddenly a black sloth bear came out panting in the hot sun. So they saw a black sloth bear. Now I will not shoot a sloth bear want only, but unfortunately for the poor beast, one of my companions did not follow that way about it and promptly shot the bear on the spot. So that black sloth bear came out and he was shot dead. But what happened? That when we saw the fallen animal, we were surprised to see the black fur on its black back moved and left frosted baby body. Then we saw it was then when they went near that dead sloth bear, they found that a baby was the baby was there nearby the mother's back, near, riding on its mother's back when he suddenly sorted when the sudden shot had killed her. So now the mother sloth bear is dead and there was a baby bear near the mother bear. So I ran up to it to attempt a capture. So finally the author was able to grab it by the scuff of its neck while it snapped and tried to scratch me with its long hooked claws. So while the narrator was trying to catch hold of him, then it gave some the baby bear gave some scratches on with the help with through his long hooked claws. Then we put it in one of the gunny bags we had brought and came back to Bangalore. I duly presented it to my wife. Then the narrator presented that baby bear to his wife. She was delighted. Then she took care of the baby bear by giving her giving her milk from a bottle. Then so many things like vegetables, fruits, nuts, curry, meat, rice, bread, eggs, chocolates, sweets, pudding, ice cream, etc., tea, drink, milk, coffee, lime juice, all these things. See, so she took too much care like of the baby bear like her own child. So the bear became very attached to her two Alsatian dogs. They had two dogs and all the children of the tenants living in our bungalow also. So everybody got acquainted with the baby bear. He was left quite free in his younger days and spent his time in playing, running into the kitchen and going to sleep in our beds. So next in the paragraph 8, the author has described about one incident. One day an accident befell him. What was the incident? I put down some poison, that is barium carbonate to kill the rats and mice that had got into my library. So the author found some mice in his library and he kept some poison to kill the rats and mice. So, but by chance Bruno entered the library and he ate some of that poison. Then he was then the narrator took him to the hospital. Then he was given 10 cc of antidote, and then after some time his condition remained unchanged again. Second time also another 10 cc injected, it was injected. 10 minutes later, breathing less stertorous, Bruno can move. Then after 10 minutes, after getting 2 cc antidotes, then he was able to move. 30 minutes later, Bruno gets off and has a great deed. Then another incident also, the author has explained here. Another time he found nearly 1 gallon of old engine oil, which he had drained from the sump of the Studebaker and was keeping in a weapon against the throats of termites. He promptly drank it. So once the narrator kept a gallon of old engine oil, and that was also that Bruno, he drank a lot, but it had no effect on its body. So the months rolled on, and Bruno had grown up many times the size he was when he came. Now, yeah, after getting so much of food and love and care, it grew up. He had equaled the Alsatians in the height and had even outgrown them. Growth was more than that Alsatian dogs. She had changed his name. Then author's wife changed his name from Bruno to Baba. As you know that Baba means that a small boy, because she loved the baby very much. So she started calling her Baba. Then Baba used to play with the children, everyone. Then because of some tenants children, poor Bruno or Baba had to be kept chained most of the time. So then my son and then the author and author's son and some friends also advised author's wife to give Baba to the Jew at Mysore, because they felt it's not safe to keep such type of wild animal at home. So they advised author's wife to leave it to the Jew. So it was Bruno was sent to the Jew. We all missed him greatly. Then one day after that, friends visiting Mysore were begged to make a point of going to the Jew and seeing how Baba was getting along. Then for 3 months, I managed to restrain my wife from visiting Mysore. So for 3 months, she was trying to go to the Mysore Jew, but the author managed not to take her to the Jew. But after that, then she said one day that I must see Baba. Either you take me by car or I'll go by myself by bus or train. Then one day she told to her husband to go to see Baba. Then friends had conjectured that the bear would not recognize. Then everybody told her that it's already so many months then and Baba cannot recognize you. But soon she arrived there. Then he howled with happiness. Who? Baby bear, but that Baba howled with happiness, and she ran up to him, petted him through the bars, and she stood on his end in delight. So by saying author's wife, Baba can recognize, and he howled also by giving so many sounds. Then for the next 3 hours she would not leave the cage, and she stayed there only, and she told to take Baba back. Then they requested the curator that to take Baba back to their home, but the curator denied, because now it's it's a government property. But if my boss, the superintendent who lives in the Bangalore, if he agrees, then you can take Baba back to your home. Then they went to Bangalore to meet the superintendent. Then they reached there. The superintendent was a kind-hearted man and consented, and he also he wrote to the curator telling him to lend us a case for transporting the bear to Bangalore. So finally, back we went to Mysore again, armed with the superintendent's letter. Baba was driven into the small cage and hoisted on top of the car. The cage was tied securely, and a slow and carefully return journey to Bangalore was accomplished. So finally, they brought back Baba to their home. Then after that, what did they do? Once home, a squad of coolies were engaged for special work in our compound. An island was made. So they made one island so that Baba will feel comfortable and he can feel it's a natural habitat and there will be no harm for others. So an island was made for Baba. It was 20 feet long and 15 feet wide and was surrounded by a dry pit or moat 6 feet wide and 7 feet deep. A wooden box was also made so that Baba can sleep at night in there, and a straw was placed inside to keep him warm. So they prepared one island, one place where Baba can feel comfortable, and he stayed there. Baba stayed there. In a few days, the coolies hoisted the case onto the island, and Baba was released. He was delighted, standing on his hind legs. So when he came back to their home and in that island, so he felt very free. Baba felt very free, comfortable in that place, and he was delighted, standing. So he, to show his happiness, he stood on his hind legs. He pointed his gun and cradled his baby. My wife spent hours to sitting on a chair there while he sat on her lap. He was 15 months old now and pretty heavy too. Now author's wife is taking too much care, and now it's 15 months old and too much, and it's pretty heavy too. So the way my wife teaches the island and my wife reaches the island and leaves, it is interesting. So finally the author wants to tell you that, but who can say now that a sloth bear has no sense of affection, no memory, and no individual characteristics? So with the question mark by the author, by the narrator, that who can tell that a bear who is a wild animal, it has no sense of affection. So he himself realized, he himself saw the affection being a wild animals also, how the bear showed its affection towards his wife and memory, and how that after 3 months also how he was able to recognize the author's wife and individual characteristics in playing, not harming to anyone, recognizing the family members, the author's wife. So finally he concluded that there can be a selfless bond between a human being and an animal. If somebody loves to someone, so surely he will get back the love from that person or maybe an animal. So hope children you all enjoyed that selfless bond between a human being and an animal. Thank you everyone.